Mossad has not been active in the United States or against the United States since the Jonathan Pollard scandal of 1987, when a U.S. Army contractor who's actually working for the Navy revealed classified information to the Israeli government, who's prosecuted by the United States government and ended up in prison.
I didn't watch this whole clip. This is
years.
hilarious.
No, we know that Mossad is still active in the United States because you're in Tennessee, your mouth is running, and your show is still on YouTube, Ben Shapiro. That's how we know for certain. Thank God our enemies are so dumb. So there are a lot of crazy clips going around of, people like Ben Shapiro and obviously Nick Fuentes defending Epstein. Nick's posts are crazy because like a week ago he was selling Epstein merch and saying that it's not pedo behavior what was done, it's consent and a feminist issue. And now he's saying Epstein should be reinvestigated.
Why do people say they don't trust the media or politicians but always end up echoing what they say? Why nothing is ever done when the truth comes out?
Oh, you mean like about communism? People say, I don't trust the government in the schools, in the education, in the media. But when they lie about communists in China or something, or Joseph Stalin, then they believe exactly what they say. Yeah, I too have that concern. Anyways, a lot of crazy clips coming out over the past few weeks, circling around, showing the insanity of people who are doing cover for Epstein. Ben Shapiro has to be one of, if not at the top of that list. It's either Ben Shapiro or Nick Fuentes. Probably Nick Fuentes, biggest Epstein defender on the face of the planet because he was selling Epstein merch. Nick Fuentes is like a bigger Epstein defender than, Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's own attorney. You don't see Alan Dershowitz, out there fundraising, making money off of selling Epstein merch. It's kind of a different level, Nick Fuentes defending Epstein more than James Comey's daughter, Bill Barr, Alan Dershowitz, Ehud Barak, all of them, right? But anyways, take a listen to this.
The reason the FBI is not releasing them is because those tapes do not include underage people with third parties on Epstein Island. That is not what the tapes are. Okay, I also have sources in the federal government who are covering this stuff and have seen the documents. Okay, those tapes are just child porn. That's all. That's what they are. That's why the FBI is not releasing them. Okay, as far as the Epstein list, what I have been told by my sources is that there is no Epstein list.
There is no Epstein list.
That basically there's a black book of Jeffrey Epstein contacts. And the vast majority of those contacts are already out there publicly. That's why names like Prince Andrew or...
It's just a book. It's just a stupid, silly little black book, you guys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Ben Shapiro's totally not upset he didn't get invited to the island.
The Epstein files. There are none, apparently. And again, a lot of people were shocked by this. I'm less shocked by this than some.
July 2025. In the big 2025, he was still saying there are no files. There are no files. It's just a black book, just like Kash Patel. Oh, yeah, totally. Epstein, he pled guilty to trafficking. He was in prison awaiting trial. Ghislaine Maxwell, guilty trafficking, but they trafficked to nobody. They trafficked nobody to no one. I can't even say that you'd have to be stupid to believe this. At least with Fuentes, when he says it, he fully understands that all this stuff did happen. He's not like denying reality. He's just saying it was all okay. That's different than what Ben Shapiro's saying here. Ben Shapiro's simply just lying like Kash Patel. Fuentes is like, it did happen, but it was based. Obviously, we know which one of those is worse, more appalling. But I can't get over this. Like the grandstanding. I know more than you. I know more than I have connections in the government, and they tell me it's actually you're all wrong.
Reason being, whenever there's this level of speculation without any sort of supporting evidence, it's not a shock to me when all that sort of falls apart. What does this demonstrate? Well, it demonstrates that once a conspiracy theory...
No evidence. They have 3 million files they just released. An additional 2 million files, which I can only presume are even more damning, that they still haven't released. Even Thomas Massey said as much.
Gets going, it becomes utterly unfalsifiable. Utterly unfalsifiable. And no matter how much evidence is provided, and even if the people you trust are put in charge, it's still even more unfalsifiable. So listen, it's justifiable for people like J.D. Vance, who was the vice presidential candidate at the time before the election, to call for the release of an Epstein list because, frankly, people thought there was an Epstein list.
Okay, so absolutely patently insane, Ben Shapiro. Now, I want to react to this clip. Candace Owens cooks Shapiro in a way better than I could, honestly, because she knew this man personally and spent so much time around him. I can't imagine what she's even thinking right now.
They've even been trying to rehabilitate some of these.
Like, imagine you worked for. She was friends with the guy, right? Well, maybe secretly didn't like the guy, but you worked for an Epstein defender. That's just, it's a very gross feeling.
These people. Alan Dershowitz. It's unbelievable that this man has gone through so many people like Mark Levin and, of course, Barry Weiss, always the staunch defenders of Israel. Nothing to see here, nothing to look at. People, this was going viral this weekend, people rightfully going back and examining Ben Shapiro, once again, working diligently, as he did with Pizzagate, to tell people to dismiss the Epstein emails because he had sources and everything we needed to know was already out. Take a listen.
She went out there and claimed there were tens of thousands of hours of tape. There are, by the way, but they are child pornography. The reason the FBI is not releasing them is because those tapes do not, that's what they are. That's why the FBI is not releasing them. Okay. As far as the Epstein list, what I have been told by my sources is that the action here, those contacts, there's to the DOJ, or this has become the hot speculation on the internet, is without evidence. You say that Mossad was running Jeffrey Epstein. When I say without evidence, I mean without evidence. Now,
notice how when he said, like, well, we already know that there are U.S. there are officials and individuals involved in the Epstein Black Book, like Prince Andrew. Kind of left out a few there, even if you are only going to talk about the Black Book. Kind of left a few names out of there, like the people he was the closest with. Kind of left out Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel, who was like his closest confidant, and Alan Dershowitz. According to a lot of the stories, the way it worked was Ehud Barak trained Jeffrey Epstein, and then through Alan Dershowitz, Epstein would have communication with Mossad. That's how it worked. And that's why Alan Dershowitz quite literally told U.S. prosecutors, lay off, don't touch this guy. He's intelligence. He's with us. What does us mean? It doesn't mean CIA. It means Mossad. That's what it is.
Ali Bennett, the former Israeli prime minister, said, quote, as a former Israeli prime minister, with the Mossad having reported directly to me, I say to you with 100% certainty, the accusation that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel or the Mossad running a blackmail ring is categorically and totally false. This accusation is a lie being peddled by prominent online personalities such as Tucker Carlson, pretending they know things they don't. And in fact, I followed up with the former prime minister, Naftali Bennett, and what he told me is the Mossad has not been active in the United States or against the United States since the Jonathan Pollard scandal of 1987. When a U.S. Army contractor who's actually working for the Navy revealed classified information to the Israeli government. He was prosecuted by the United States government and ended up in prison.
I didn't watch this whole clip. This is
years.
Hilarious.
And so Israel since then has not spied on the United States with Mossad.
Okay, guys. Well, there you have it. I don't know how he does it with a straight face. I'm just like, well, I mean, guys, there's millions of emails, but don't even like, it's like, Mossad hasn't been doing nothing. I know it seems weird because BB's like always here or whatever, and we seem to be doing their bidding everywhere. But the Mossad just like said in 9 days, they were like, I'm a chill. And they haven't done a single thing here at all. I know it might look that way. Miriam Adel said she doesn't even know their names. She doesn't know who they are, actually. She's doing her thing, and she's giving Trump $200 million, but it ain't got nothing to do with the Mossad. So I just wanted to bring you that stunning report from Ben Shapiro.
I'm honestly glad that Ben Shapiro thinks that we Goyim are as stupid as he really believes that we are, because it allows us to witness these incredible displays of just absurd lies coming out of his mouth, saying Mossad hasn't been active in the United States since 1987. And yeah, you should also believe the sentence that came out of his mouth, just prior, which he stated that Jeffrey Epstein's not Mossad. Oh, yeah, I called the former prime minister of Israel. He assured me, don't worry. No, we know that Mossad is still active in the United States because you're in Tennessee, your mouth is running, and your show is still on YouTube, Ben Shapiro. That's how we know for certain. Thank God our enemies are so dumb. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.